All right, folks, welcome to Smart Living. I'm super excited. I've been hunting this man down for a while. JD, who is the owner of Recycle City here in the Valley. You've been around for what, 10 years or so?
Yep.
And so basically what you do is you figured out a way that you have a program where you develop relationships with people in our community by picking up compost from people who compost for you. And then also you have an interesting way of concept with this Recycle City of basically doing all the things that help farmers go out of business. You take care of that expense for them and help them thrive in the valley. So welcome to the show, JD, and thank you so much for taking time. I know you're a very busy guy, and we also should talk about this new partnership with the mill, the food grinder. But first, let's talk about Recycle City and what it's all about and what got you inspired.
Well, I grew up in Minnesota, graduated in 2004 from high school and moved to Arizona to go to school at ASU. And at ASU, I got a finance degree from the W.P. Carey School of Business, a small business entrepreneurship certificate, and a minor in philosophy. And it was 2009 when I was graduating, and there were no jobs. So I asked my counselor, like, what do you think? And he said, well, the school of sustainability, ASU had just started it.
They just started that, yeah.
It was like the first school in the nation. And he told me about it, and I said, well, that sounds like the future. So he told me I needed 18 credits to get a whole nother bachelor degree. So I was, I wasn't gonna find a job at the moment.
So you're like, let's do it.
Yeah, so I did it, and then the school of sustainability, I focused on agriculture.
Okay.
I had begun getting into like healthy eating during college and stuff like that, but then when I started going to the school of sustainability, I focused all my studies on food and agriculture, and then I came out really wanting to be a local farmer.
Okay. And obviously you didn't.
No, so I was during college, I worked, had a couple jobs working throughout college, and one of them was as a golf caddy at the Silverleaf Golf Club.
Okay, yeah.
And I caddied there from 2005 all the way to 2017.
Okay. I did not catch you as a golfer, but go ahead.
Yeah. And the people I would caddy for, they would say, hey, JD, what do you want to do? You got 2 degrees and everything. And I was like, I really want to be a small farmer. And I remember everyone said, that is a terrible idea. And one person, their son was a professor in agriculture. I spoke to them on the phone, and he said, JD, like, I know a bunch of people like you. Small urban farming is a lifestyle. It's not a business. Even if you're the best vegetable grower of all time, you can't sell. And he went through it. He said, you can't sell onto wholesale because you can't compete on price. Food service, the consistency of the menu, food costs. Even if there is a passionate restaurant, they're probably working with a local farm already. And you can cross your fingers, bring your stuff to a farmer's market. If you sell half of what you bring there, you're out all that cost to produce that other half. I said, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, And I went to the farmers markets, talked to the farmers, and
so you were believing this, like you did all the research.
All true, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
So I didn't go into it. I wanted to work at local farms as well, but all the local farms wanted to pay me $9 an hour. I had 2 degrees,
Yeah, that's not going to do
student
it.
debt. That wasn't going to work either. So I just kept caddying at the golf club. And then in 2012, I learned about what's called the 5-gallon bucket business.
Okay.
You give a household a 5-gallon bucket, banana peels, coffee grounds, paper towels, leftover food go in the bucket. And then on a certain day of the week, somebody like me comes by and exchanges the bucket with a clean one. That food waste and material doesn't go to the landfill. It goes to a community garden, a local farm, or a compost facility. And that had started in Washington, D.C., and then a company started in North Carolina. This is 2010, 2011, and then in 2012, I became aware of this new business.
And you liked it, like it lit something inside of you.
I said, that's how I'm going to sell produce. That
Okay.
was my answer to the professor. And I said, that's how I'll sell produce. Who wouldn't want to buy the produce from the farm their food waste goes?
Yeah.
You know, and I said, I'm in, and I just, started bootstrapping it.
Yeah, because I remember actually when I lived over on 16th Street Northern, I obviously didn't know that was you, but I actually had a service where they would come and pick up my, all my food waste, and in exchange I would get compost for it, like after so many buckets. So I think that place was called Recycle City, but it was just kind of starting out. It wasn't quite developed. And then how I came about to finding you again was I'm on Instagram. And I saw this thing where there was like these food grinder things, these food grinding machines, which kind of like, if you're like me, it's like, I want to do good for the environment, but I don't want to deal with all the ick. I don't want to get my hands dirty,
Right.
but I still want to do good. I'm one of those people. So these mills are great. They're food grinders. They exponentially basically heat up your food really quick over 24 hours, grind it down, and it's in the process of making compost. You're not at compost yet because the balance between the meat and stuff like that, and the moisture in there is not there. But you now go around, now the mill has come out with these wonderful devices, you have partnered with them, and you can go about and pick up the compost for that. So we'll get back to that in a second, but this is how I kind of found you, was through this process. So this is so cool, JD, because like literally to meet the person 10 years ago, because I was like, wait, how are you going to make this work? But it's a totally sustainable business. So how do you make this work, picking up people's waste for a living?
Well, we all pay for our material to go to the landfill.
Okay, yeah.
So it's really similar. We charge a monthly fee to come by your house either every week, every other week, or even once a month.
Right.
And then that funds us buying the trucks, us hiring employees, insurance, paying for the land, all the farming equipment, etc. And
hold on just one second. So you had to figure out the math on that. Like, that's a pretty risky mathematical equation you're making, because you're dependent on people to play your game in order for you to cover your costs.
Yeah, so for the first many years, I was losing money, working, all the time, taking the money I made from caddying and putting it straight into the business.
You were really passionate about this, because seriously.
I started this more as an activist, because I didn't start this in a very thought out financial way. Like I didn't set out to make money.
Right.
I set out to, change
the way we
system.
do things in this world.
Right.
Right, that's pretty cool. But now you're able to make a living, cover all your costs. How many employees do you have now?
22.
Jesus, that's really cool. So I'm one of those people that pay your game. So I pay you $40 a month, and once a month you come pick up the grounded food that I have. I have a 5-gallon bucket that gets delivered to me, and usually it takes about a month for me to fill that. And I live in a household of 2 people, so I pay you $40. Now, out of the $40, I get to use this wonderful mill device. So let's talk about this partnership with the mill, which I think is an incredible partnership for you.
Yeah.
How did you get this?
So a few years ago, Mill was starting. They were founded by the people who started Nest thermostats.
Oh, okay.
And sold to Google.
I'll save a lot of
And then they
money.
worked at Google for a couple years. Said, hey, I'm not, really changing the world anymore. And they left and started Mill.
Okay.
And when they were starting, one of the venture firms tipped them off on what I was doing here in Phoenix. Here in Phoenix, we are the only company that picks up your food waste, composts your food waste ourselves, uses the compost, doesn't sell it. We sell none of the compost we make, and then uses the compost to grow the vegetables on the farm and distributes those vegetables back to your house. This is the only example of that whole circle in the whole country, maybe the world. And some people have taken notice of that. I had a decent amount of customers. I had 3,000 customers when I made the partnership with Mill. So, you know, they did their homework, reached out to me, got to know me for a year or two. And then in November of last year, we set out the partnership where it's only here in the Phoenix Metro. That's the only place this is available, where you can get the mail bin, lifetime warranty, have your stuff picked up by us, and get a complimentary either farm box or the actual like
Compost.
finished black gold compost for your garden
Every quarter.
every quarter.
So you do get something. So I'm helping the environment. I'm not feeling guilty for throwing away all my produce. I don't have to deal with the ick of composting.
Right.
So you take all that, and I'm going to pay you $40 a month. And for that $40 a month, I'm going to basically get this $1,000 mill
Yep.
that's going to grind my food up, that has an amazing charcoal filter. Like, I put some nasty stuff in it.
Mhm.
You never smell anything.
Right.
My kitchen does not smell at all. And then I set it to grind up my food, heat it up, and within 24 hours it's ground up. I do it overnight. So the process, and you barely even hear the machine go. That is a total win-win.
Yeah.
JD, I'm going to get goosebumps telling you this, but I am honored to meet you.
Oh,
And it's a big pleasure because you're somebody that took your passion and you figured out how to make a living out of it. Jackpot. You got it. Now you've got a perfect life. You're going to work for it.
Yeah.
But your passion, and you figured out a way to make a living. And not only that, but you're doing good stuff to help the environment. Like,
Mhm.
you're onto something, my friend. So that's why I really wanted to get you on the show to talk about that.
Thank you.
Now, the other thing that we talked about, besides the mill, which, by the way, I don't know if they're still doing a free trial, which is
Yeah.
crazy, but they deliver this machine. It comes to you UPS. It's so nicely and thoughtfully packaged. I don't know if you've ever actually seen it delivered,
I have it.
but
Yeah, it's
whoever,
delivered all the
oh
time.
my God, whoever thought of the packaging,
Yeah, right.
so it was so easy to unpack this thing. And it was just amazing. But, oh, I got a little sidetracked where I was going with this. Oh, the other thing in our conversation, besides the wonderful mill that you have, that you partnered with, is you also said that one of the other things is that you actually have farmers. Like, you do, like, this is what we said at the beginning, was that
Mhm.
you do all the stuff, you put all that the expense, so farmers can come and farm on your land. Can you explain that to me?
Yeah. So I really wanted to be a farmer
Yeah.
when I graduated. Not even thinking about how hard it is to sell, to start a small farm or be a farmer as a young, beginning, disadvantaged farmer. You got to have capital for land, capital for equipment, maybe a working capital loan to hire people and make payroll, and then hopefully grow a successful crop and sell that crop. So the barriers to entry are huge in local small farming.
Yeah.
So what I'm not the farmer I wanted to be, but what I've created with the revenue from the food waste pickup, we're able to pay all the overhead costs of the typical small farm. So we're able to pay for the land, the water, the tractor, the implements, make all the compost for the farmer, buy the extra fertilizer, pay for the seed, pay the utility bill for the refrigerators, buy the refrigerators, do all the sales work, do all the distribution. So now we partner with beginning, young, disadvantaged farmer
Mhm.
that have their own LLC. They come onto the property, we charge them $0. They get to begin their
Farming.
passion
Uh-huh.
and farming, and when they grow something, we are going to buy it and share the revenue of what we sell it for. So we sell it for $1, and then we get a little bit of that, and they get some of that. So that what we're doing with the food waste revenue is we're de-risking small farming. We're taking the risk out. So the farmer really has no risk. They have no loans. Their only cost is labor. So, and they know they're going to sell the product and they know what price they're going to get.
Because you already have it sold for them.
Right. So we are taking on all the risk. So now it's going to be easy to have a thriving local food system
So,
if this scales.
right. So where did you get all the capital to buy the land and all that? Like,
So we've
you were
leased.
you were a broke caddy.
Right. So I started in a backyard, and then a woman named Cindy Gentry, who's famous here in the Phoenix area, she was running the Tempe Farmers Market and would see me showing up in the morning.
Mhm.
And I couldn't really move my arms because I was digging so many holes in the backyard doing bokashi composting. And she noticed that and said, you know, you need some help. and introduced me to this community farm in South Phoenix. So I went from the backyard to the community farm where they had a tractor and a spot for me to make the compost. I gave them all the compost. And then about a year later, I started leasing 2.5 acres in Levine.
Okay.
And I was there for a year or two. And then I started leasing the property we're currently at. It's 16.5 acres.
Oh, wow.
And then that lease, we've had it for the last 5 years. That ends at the end of this year. And a month or two ago, we purchased our first farm.
Oh, you bought land.
Yeah.
Yes, because that's
So-
sustainable.
So
It's sustainable when you have your own land.
right. And kind of the same story. Like, it took me over 3 years for the bank to give me an auto loan.
Uh-huh.
So I was using trucks that I bought for a couple $1,000 that I had to spend just the same amount of money every month, just
Uh-huh.
keeping them going.
Right, just to maintain.
So once the bank finally gave me auto loans, like
Yeah.
I could get new vehicles, and that has real, it's just been a brick by brick, step by step. It keeps getting better.
Right, yeah. Do you think that your education at ASU helped you?
Absolutely.
Okay, because I was
Yeah.
like, because I'm like,
Immensely.
yeah, because I mean,
Mhm.
like it sounds like, I just mentioned we're having a conversation. It sounds like you're growing slow and steady, and you're growing conservatively, which is
Yeah,
how
I've never
you-
raised money.
Right.
It's been a family and friends bootstrap business.
That's so great.
Mhm.
I really wish you the best of success. So let me ask you a question. What else can I do to help you with the cause that you're doing? Is this good what I'm doing here? Can I do any more cause to action? Is there anything anybody that can do in the community? Do you need more people to sign up for your program? Tell me.
We need more people to sign up.
Okay.
So with the mill machine, it takes out all the fear of diverting
Oh,
food
yeah.
out of the trash.
Yeah.
So there's never any smells, there's never any fruit flies, there's never any bugs.
None of it.
You only have to empty what looks like a really nice trash can once a month, so there's no additional work. Your trash can doesn't smell anymore.
Right.
You don't have to take out the trash as much. The volume in your trash is going to go down, which is going to help
Significantly.
with all sustainability initiatives.
Okay.
So we just need more people
To sign up.
to
Yeah.
sign up. And Mill Our City, we offer a 30-day free trial.
Yeah, which is crazy. And then there's no commitment.
Mhm.
So if it doesn't work out for you, you're out nothing. And they will
Right.
pick up that mail for you for free. And bottom line is that you're using the mill and you guys are the ones that are going to service it if I have any issues with it. It costs me nothing, just spend my $40.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a total win.
And as things scale, like the cost of a computer when there was the first computer
Yeah.
was very, very expensive.
Right.
As more
People-
households get involved, the price is going to come down. There's an area here where we are in Central Phoenix. It's been the same price since 2013. Never raised the price in 11 years, right? So it's killing inflation.
Right.
At $25 in 2013 is,
It's a lot.
so
Right.
the service is getting less expensive as we get more people per square mile. So like neighborhood associations, block parties, anywhere where myself or somebody on my team can get in front of even a small group of people. I went to a garden club the other day where they brought me into a normal
Uh-huh.
house, and there was 5 or 6
Perfect.
couples, and half of them, signed up.
Oh yeah, this is totally grassroots. I think this is an amazing program. I think it's amazing what you're doing. You have a huge fan here in the Valley. So
Thank you.
Daphne Monroe is a huge fan of JD.
Thank you.
So, okay, well, that's great. Listen, I will have all the information. I'm going to wrap this up. I'll have all the information of where you can get a hold of Recycle City, the mill, where you can sign up. I'll have a link on my blog. Just head over to smartshopperdaphne.com. And guys, this is a win-win for our community all the way around. And really, it's $40. And now you can take the guilt away and you'll get a nice little produce basket every 3 months. I love it. Okay, and don't forget, guys, I'm Daphne Monroe, your smart shopper.